All right, Raiders 5.5-point favorites over the Panthers. Like we said, Panthers have been outscored 73-13 in 2 weeks. Vegas and the odds makers seem to say that Andy Dalton's an improvement. Again, the line moved 1.5 points on that. Dalton started one game for the Panthers last season, lost to the Seahawks 37-27, but he had a good game. 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. We know who Andy Dalton is. He's been playing, 14th year or something like that. Been playing forever. Very, very aware of who he is. I think this is more of I think the Raiders kind of found themselves in the second half of last game. And this isn't underestimating. We're the Raiders. This is the NFL. There's no gimmies, right? This isn't underestimating the Panthers. But it is one of those matchups, Soto, where I feel like it's far more important for us to focus on us than it is to make just giant adjustments for the opponent. I think we look at the tape from the second half of last game and you say, what were we doing right? Let's do more of that.
Yeah, the issues with the Panthers run much deeper than Bryce Young.
Yeah.
They are lacking talent at a lot of levels, and they are injured on the defensive line. I think that was going to be one of the strengths that they thought, which is why they were able to let Burns go. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, they have a lot of issues on their team. If we show up and we don't read the press clippings and we play physical, we are simply the more talented team. If we play smart, and we only had 5 accepted penalties all season in 2 games. So if we continue to play that way, where we're playing smart, we don't beat ourselves, we don't let them hang around. Yes, Andy Dalton is much better situationally than Bryce Young. He's not going to get the high peak plays that Bryce Young is capable of doing, because Bryce Young was a number 1 pick for a reason. But when you don't have all those receivers that you had at Alabama, you have a lack of talent on the outside with the Panthers. It's going to be tough sledding. They just don't have a lot of talent. The only way that they win is if we let them hang around. I just don't see them being able to contain both Davante and Bowers. And I'll tell you something right now. There's Jacoby Myers would be the number 1 receiver on the Panthers.
Oh, for sure. Who is it now? Adam Thielen?
Thielen and some other kid
Johnson.
that they got. But dude,
Johnson.
Yeah. But he's as a number 2 wide receiver, he's an excellent number 2 wide receiver. He doesn't get the looks because this team's going to revolve around Davante and Bowers, and it should. Yep. But if they want to bear down and we're going to take away these 2 guys, and this is what we're going to have to sell out and take away these 2 guys. I mean,
Jacoby Myers is going to have 150 yards.
He's more than capable of hurting you very, very, very badly. So as long as we go in there and play physical and let them know who we are from the very beginning, I think we can win this game and cover this 5.5.
I think this is the game. This is again, I'm not trying to act like this is a step over, but this is the dress rehearsal for us to finally decide the team we are and not the team we want to be. Antonio Pierce wanted to be a run-first team, throw 22, 25 times a game, strong defense, get some turnovers, great kicking game, grind guys out, right? That ain't us. O-line can't do it. Not capable. Even if the O-line improves, that's not the team that we are. Zeus is still learning how to run as a zone running back. We don't have the physicality to be a power running back. We're not going to make that change. That is not our team. We are not going to just offensively just wear down a defense and be that team. We're just not. We're just not. Luckily, we have Davante Adams. We have Brock Bowers. We got Jacoby Myers. And we got a Gardner Minshew that's second in yardage this season, right?
First in completion percentage.
This is who we are. So let's throw the ball. We're not giving up on the run. We need Getsy to get creative. We have to be able to find ways to move that rock. But don't force it. Get creative, but don't force it. I'm sick of these second and 11, second and 12, second and 9s every single play because we're forcing the run just because we tell ourselves we're a run team. No. We don't ask Minshew to do crazy stuff. It's, hey, Brock, Davante, do your thing, get open. We're going to get you guys 12 targets a game. We'll get Zeus. We'll get creative with the run game, but we're not going to force it, right? Defense, keep doing what you're doing. DBs, keep playing smart. D-line, keep running roughshod. Let's get some more takeaways, please. We've had 1 and 2 games. It's not enough. Let's get some more takeaways. And then the best kicking tandem in football. I mean, that should be who we are. And what better way to do it than in our home opener against the worst team in football to be like, all right, guys, throw the playbook out. This is who we are now. Go show me.
Okay. You remember Mike Holmgren, right?
How can I
Coach?
forget?
So
The Andy Reid before Andy Reid.
the Andy Reid before Andy Reid.
The original Walrus.
Yes. His teams were passed to set up the run.
Mhm.
He had the Favre teams. They were passed to set up the run. He went to Seattle. He had Sean Alexander, who was one of the leading rushers in the NFL, but he was a pass with Hasselbeck to set up the run.
Mhm.
At Green Bay, where Getsy was prior, they were passed to set up the run. It's no different than that. I'm not saying that Gardner Minshew is Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. But is he Matt Hasselbeck? He had a lot of good years. He had a lot of good years with Seattle. And that's how they ran their offense. They passed. They passed when you thought they were going to run. They ran when you thought they were going to pass. And they just got big chunk plays left and right. And it's just, you got to stop force feeding. You got to be able to just, you're going to get further. You know, there was a scenario where someone was talking to me about a situation where they wanted to get out of a situation, but they didn't want to start over again. And I'm like, look, let's just say you're running a mile. And right now, hampering yourself with the situation you are in now, you're only able to hop on one foot. Now you got 3 laps done. You have to hop one more lap on one leg. What's going to be faster? You hopping that one lap on one leg or starting over and running 4 laps with 2 legs? You're going to be able to run 4 more than you know. So it's like you keep pushing this agenda. We're a run first team. We're a run. No, you're not. Your talent that you have on your team is pass first. That doesn't mean you can't run. That doesn't mean you can't be physical when you run, but you have to use your advantages that even when the team knows, the defense knows what you want to do, who cares? Mm-hmm. What did Al Davis say? We don't take what you give us. We take what we want. We're going to play our best football in the very beginning. We're going to take what we want, and then we're going to do what we want, whether we want to run or pass. That's what we're going to set up. And it's just, that's the way we have to do it.
Well, all that said, I would like to see Madison get some more looks. I think he's just a little bit better fit for our style of running, and he's certainly a better pass catcher out of the backfield.
Also, we're not tipping our hand personnel and formation wise by having Madison run the ball more.
Yep.
I still have big hopes for Zeus because I don't think that he needs to break more tackles. Okay, number one, but he's getting hit in the backfield a lot. That interior offensive line is not playing very well at all.
The crux of the problem is the O-line. So anytime I say Minshew needs to do this more, Zeus needs to do that more, is all under the umbrella of the O-line is doing nobody favors. But the problem is the O-line is the hardest thing to change, right? Because it's do you switch 5 guys? Do you change the entire scheme? No, it's so much easier to switch out Madison for Zeus, even though the line's the problem. If one of these guys, you know what I mean? It's just like that's just. The line's the hardest thing to change, right? But so you can't just be like, oh, fix the line. It's like, well, with that said, a little bit of good news. According to AP, it sounds confident that Jackson Powers-Johnson will be able to play on Sunday, make his debut against the Panthers. Again, it's not a magic bullet. He's a rookie coming off of a concussion with not that much time, but let's get him learning ASAP. There's no reason why this guy shouldn't be playing if he can't. Injury report in general, the Panthers hurting a little bit defensively. 3 starting defenders, Robinson, Tuttle, and Clowney, all did not participate. On the Raiders side, only 2 players did not participate, Divine Diablo to Cameron Richardson. The knee on Maxx Crosby, not even worried. He'll be fine. He never misses games. Colton Miller's shoulder, still nursing it. He's playing. I don't doubt that. Tyree Wilson, I kind of don't care, to be honest. And then Christian Wilkins, I don't think anything too serious. So already kind of limping a little bit, but we should be pretty much full strength-ish. We should be at more strength week 3 than we were week 1.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Defensively, kind of nice having Marvin Lewis there, right? He's the guy who drafted Andy Dalton. Like he's going to know him better than anybody, right?
Yeah.
Kind of nice to have Marvin Lewis there.
I mean, it's quite a few years ago, and it's a different system, but
he'll know tendencies.
There are definitely things that, bother a player.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, I mean, Thielen still kind of got it, but little old. Deontay Johnson, those are your 2 best receiving options.
Deontay Johnson is a head case.
Nothing too great there. I mean, really, the only Andy Dalton isn't a schlub. He's not just a complete slapdick.
Andy Dalton is going to put up numbers. He's going to put up points. He is a professional quarterback. He is an legit NFL quarterback who can move an offense. The issue that he's going to run into is he's not dynamic enough to make those plays consistently. And he's not dynamic enough to be able to make a lot of those plays if you make him uncomfortable. If you put him and Bryce Young together, then yeah, you'd have a great quarterback. More mobile guy, and a guy that can, is smart enough to take the plays that are there, but also has the arm to throw it deep if he needs to. Yeah, that's no problem. But unfortunately, that's where we are right now with, unfortunately for him, that's where he is. If you give him a clean pocket and you give him time, he's going to hurt you. He's going to put up big points.
Yeah, I predict a lot of ginger on ginger crime with Maxx Crosby up the ass of Andy Dalton.
No.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, this is the only thing. I think the biggest thing to be concerned about defensively is, like, every team, can we, their run offense is bad, but our run defense hasn't been all that stellar or fantastic. We've worn down. If the defense has to play defend for some really long drives, the offense isn't helping them out. They're not getting turnovers. I can see potentially there being an issue with Chuba Hubbard just kind of grinding a little bit. They
have Hubbard. They have Miles Sanders there. They got that rookie Leggett from South Carolina, who's this freaking speed demon. They have Mingo, who's a guy that they got a couple of years ago, kind of washed out, but he's a big target. They got some guys. The issue that you're having here is you didn't really know what you had because you had a guy who was not very good throwing them the ball. Mm-hmm. They're going to look better. They're going to look better than they have for the first 2 weeks. So don't think we're going to go in there and just smoke them.
Their big thing is it's going to be not X's and O's. It's what we see all the time when there's a big change on a team. They just get rejuvenated.
It's Willie and Joe's, baby.
Right? It's like when AP took over and we just crushed the Giants. It's like, yeah, we're invigorated. New quarterback, new coach. It's like that's all. I said the run game might wear us down a little bit. Honestly, the biggest thing is, like, do they just get rejuvenated with Andy Dalton? Was everything going on with their second-year quarterback just so bad that everyone's just kind of given up? Like, this is our guy.
This
is what we're stuck with. Like, fuck. Like, why am I even here? What am I doing? And then, like, Andy Dalton's like a likable guy. Like, I watched his 7-minute press conference today. All smiles, excited to do it. Like, again, like you say, he's a professional quarterback with a lot of experience. If they come out rejuvenated, that's probably their best their best route to get something going here. The one that catches us by surprise because they're pumped on the new situation. They're
not catching us by surprise because we know who Andy Dalton is, right? And we know that in the NFL, the other team's getting paid too, and all this crazy stuff can happen, right? We need to go out there and we need to make this. Do we need to blow them out by 50? No. But we need to make this a convincing win because we need to put to rest these 9.5-point spreads. And there go the Raiders. They win, like you said, they win 1 week. It would be so Raiders if they beat the Ravens on the road and then they lose to the Panthers. We need to. There's a culture internally and a culture externally. And right now, the culture externally in the media and with a lot of fans out there is we're still the same old shitty Raiders, up and down and inconsistent and this and that. And to put that to rest, we have to smoke the teams that we're supposed to smoke. We have to beat the teams that we're supposed to beat.
The biggest thing I want to see is us find ourselves, right? I feel like we found ourselves in the second half of the Ravens game. Now let's do that for 4 quarters. Let's go in with that as the game plan, execute it, and be us. That's the biggest thing, right? Because if we do that, we'll win, right?
Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. There's nothing in the rules that you can't score on every single possession. You can't go out there and you can't dominate. You can't.
That's what Derek Carr's done this season.
Yeah, right. The Saints have done it.
Great possessions, right?
It's like go out there and score, and just dominate. There's nothing against the rules that means that you have to keep it close.
Call it the Gwen Stefani method. Leave no doubt. Hold on, that's a soundboard.
I would tell you to not quit your day job, but no, quit your day job and don't do that either. And just find a hold and just hide in it. That was bad.
Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.